Warning, this video may contain content that may not be suitable for children or anyone else that is easily offended. Strong language, graphic content, nudity, bad jokes, and a possible idiot, aka myself, may be featured in the following clip. Viewer discretion is advised. Channel is not responsible for any damages that you receive watching this video. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Zems, and welcome back to another video. This video is called Exploring the SCP Foundation, Introduction to the Foundation. This video is by the Exploring series, so you guys have already be sure to shoot down the description box. Click on the link, go watch the video in entirety. Come on, be pausing and stopping and talking through the whole thing. Yo, I'm about to just go ahead and jump into it. Since you guys have been doing so good lately and supporting the cause, I thought I'd drop a two-piece video, man. One little different one and the one back onto the subject that we were talking about the last video. So we're going to jump into this, give me a little bit of some more information on SCPs because I still don't get it. I know they're like some kind of creatures or projects, projectiles, or I don't know whatever you want to call them, but we're going to jump into it. If you guys haven't already, man, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, support your boy right around the corner of 3,000. But for now, let's get it. I don't know why I close my eyes a lot when I talk on YouTube. I guess you can say I'm too passionate about what I do.
Secure, contain, protect.
Or spicy, crispy Popeyes.
These three simple words comprise both the initials of the SCP Foundation, as well as the Foundation's steadfast motto. But what is the SCP Foundation?
Okay, please.
This video will continue under the assumption that this is the first time you have ever heard of SCP, and are about to enter a world of the strange, shadowy, and unusual.
Yo, you sound serious.
By the end of this video, you should have a decent grasp of the basic concepts that make up the Foundation.
Okay.
To begin with, the SCP Foundation and universe are primarily associated with a single website, the SCP Wiki. Rather than having lore spread across movies, books, or video games, the website is driven by community submissions. Practically anyone can write and add to the SCP universe, assuming their writing is up to snuff. And because of this, there is no official canon.
So you're telling me I can go to SCP Wiki right now and create my own SCP. If somebody wants to make a red flag SCP, or a Mountain Dew monster, or a crow SCP, bro, please feel free to do it. I won't even stop you. The plague doctor don't count. I know because crows will be surrounding him, I think. But no, like his own thing, let me know.
Another way to look at this is that everything is canon, as any submission to the lore is equally valid, or invalid depending on your perspective. But there are a number of concepts that are generally accepted by the community, and that's mostly what this video will be based on. For a simple example, the SCP Foundation is most often presented as a shadowy organization that works outside of the public awareness in order to keep things secret and safe.
Like Area 51.
However, if an author wishes to change this perspective and present the Foundation as a very open and public group, they can do so. Whether or not such a perspective will be accepted by part of the community is a different matter, but overall, canonicity is a fluid and often debated topic within the SCP community. So, as mentioned, the SCP Foundation is a well-funded and staffed organization that generally works outside of public awareness.
Look at his head,
and
bro.
operates with or without the approval or support of local governments.
It's like a pinto beam with legs.
The Foundation often recruits the finest scientists, researchers, engineers, and military agents that they can find, employing them to perform stressful and generally dangerous tasks.
Hell no.
These tasks are of course related to the Foundation's motto that I mentioned at the start. Within the universe that the Foundation operates in, which is most often presented as our own universe, there are a massive number of strange, paranormal, and anomalous things.
Facts, I agree.
These things, which bend or break the natural order of things as most people know it, can vary wildly in concept, form, hostility, usefulness, and danger.
Bro, who the hell's making these monsters, bro? This look like, I don't know, this look like something from God of War, bro. Look how big they are. I don't know if this is an exaggeration. He has his whole spine coming up. It look like his rib cage is there. Like, I don't even know. It look like some kind of puppet. This looks like, that one Pokemon, I can't think of it. He's red. And then it's the one there, the little fathead one, right? Or that's a different one. It's got a teddy bear next to it. Then you got this one, bro. He just looked like a Skyrim boss. And over here, the same thing, bro. Skyrim. Maybe some Devil May Cry or something like that. This looked like some damn Gears of War type shit going on over here, bro. Like, And then I guess these are the people that are trying to stop it. Like, this is the scientist, this is the military guy over here. Like, I don't know. It's too much, bro. It look like a machine god or something. Like, he's a cog goddess or something. Like, I don't know. That's just a lot. I don't. That's crazy, bro.
Without getting into too many details at this point, these anomalous entities can range from immortal killing machines to a 6-sided die that occasionally lands on a 7. Some can be used to greatly benefit the Foundation,
like
such
what?
as pills that can cure any disease, while others continually threaten both the Foundation and all life on Earth,
Then why not kill
such as
him?
massive eldritch entities for which the Foundation has no idea how to contain. Each of these entities,
Ooh.
or at least the ones known to the Foundation, are given an entry on the website. These entries, known as Special Containment Procedures, or SCPs, generally follow a similar format and contain information written and cataloged by researchers working for the Foundation.
Oh, jeez.
SCP is given a number, and at the time of this video, there are nearly 4,000 SCPs logged in the system.
4,000?
Next, each SCP is assigned an object class, which is a somewhat broad indicator of how easily an SCP is contained, or how reliably it can be contained.
Ah, there it is. Euclid. This is the one that we be seeing on some of the pictures. Euclid SCPs are anomalies that require more resource to contain completely or where containment isn't always reliable. Usually this is because the SCP is insufficiently understood or inherently unpredictable. Euclid is the object class with the greatest scope, and it usually has a safe bet that an SCP will be in this class if it doesn't easily fall into any other of the standard object classes. Wow. If I were to work in this office, I'll probably be taken into the safe category because this one's more understanding. Although they may be creepy, they may be a little bit more easily to work with, and easy is my middle name. I'll take that. I don't want any extra rules because your boy forgets rules all the time. Instructions, don't need them. Just put me in the safe section. This is the one you have to be out for. This is the worst one. This is the highest levels of the Foundations in their locations. Fungal current standard known to few Foundation protocols. Hell no.
Is used across the Foundation, although occasionally others will crop up. Safe class SCPs are those that are most easily contained, with little to no chance of a containment breach occurring. It's important to note that safe can apply to SCPs that are harmless or beneficial, but also to SCPs that are incredibly dangerous, but easy for the Foundation to contain and protect. Any lock it touches, and a cooperative individual that can manipulate reality, are both safe SCPs.
Oh, see, nah, bro. Never mind.
One step higher is the Euclid object class,
Uh-oh.
signifying the broadest classification of SCPs, where containment is more complicated and or less reliable than safe SCPs.
Nah.
Many autonomous or living SCPs are classified as Euclid due to their inherent unpredictability. A red disk that can transport someone to an alternate dimension, a humanoid that kills all plant life around him, and an orb that continually expands the interior of any building it's placed in are all Euclid class SCPs.
Why would he burn grass? That's the...
Keter SCPs are those that are excessively difficult to contain for one reason or another, and often are incredibly dangerous to either the Foundation or others, although that is not always the case. A mortal reptile that hates all life, a highly infectious disease that takes over its host to spread itself,
Ooh.
and a cake that infinitely duplicates itself are all Keter class SCPs.
Hold on now, bruh. A cake? Nah, I know, I get it. Might be Hostess or something. It's cool. So is it like something that, okay, the only thing I can see this cake doing is it keeps making more of itself. Does it keep making you eat it until you eat so much until you die? Or does it, like, you eat it and then you forgot you ate it and it's going to reappear again, so you eat another one? You're like, I thought I ate that already. I'm going to eat it again. You keep eating it and eventually you die? Or do you eat it and then something happens to you? I don't know. I got to look that one up. It's magically
Finally,
delicious.
there is Thaumiel, highly classified SCPs that stand apart from the others, generally due to their use to the Foundation in locating or containing other SCPs. Among the basic object classes, Thaumiels are the rarest, reserved for the most guarded secrets of the Foundation, and are generally more difficult to define than the others. A facility capable of rebuilding humanity after an apocalypse, and a machine capable of sending individuals into the future, are both Thaumiel SCPs.
What?
After the object class is listed, the following information for each entry is generally the special containment procedures, meaning the steps and processes the Foundation goes through in order to keep the entity contained. These containment procedures, of course, vary wildly, ranging from simply putting the safest SCPs in a drawer to lengthy procedures featuring strict rules and unique restrictions.
Can't do that.
Some SCPs that the Foundation has no idea how to contain.
How do they get them?
Containment procedures are listed before the description of the SCP to emphasize the importance of containment above practically anything else, as that is the fundamental purpose of the Foundation. Some SCPs are kept in the same location where they were found, isolated and quarantined due to certain circumstances, and others, such as exceptionally cooperative humanoids, might be allowed to freely roam a Foundation facility from time to time.
What? Hell no, you can't roam no facility. What? They just let them things walk around the facility? What? Oh, hell no, bro. What if just one day they just decide to snap? You just letting that thing walk around. Oh, hell no, bro. But that future one, bro, I would tell him to take me to the future, let me write down some lotto numbers, boy, and then tell him back, boy, I'm about to be ballin'. Count this cash. I'll let you finish.
Due to the unique nature of each individual SCP, each containment procedure is also unique, and there is no standard set of rules. Following the containment procedures is generally the description of the SCP. This description is usually written with a very technical and scientific tone, describing the appearance and anomalous nature of the SCP. Again, this description section varies wildly, ranging from a few concise sentences to many paragraphs of detailed information.
That's a dope key.
In addition to the description, many SCP entries will also include information such as where and how the SCP was first located, testing logs, exploratory logs for SCP locations, interviews, and any other information deemed important. SCPs are often found by members of the general public, causing the Foundation to come in and contain the anomaly and also wipe the memories of witnesses.
Yeah, what number is this one?
Sometimes only one or two agents of the Foundation might be called in to retrieve an anomaly, but often a whole team of highly trained individuals will be necessary. These teams, known as Mobile Task Forces, or MTFs, consist of ex-military or other trained combatants that are often sent in with minimal information about the anomaly.
Yeah, give me
and
gear
are thus
1.
forced to be prepared for anything.
Gear 1 and 3.
Some MTFs will be assigned to constantly watch over certain SCPs in case of containment breach. Once the SCP is secured and contained, researchers assigned to the project will often carry out a number of tests and attempt to gather as much data as they can. Of course, for many SCPs this is more dangerous than it is worth, so testing is generally limited, although there are rare occasions where the Foundation will seek to destroy an SCP rather than contain it.
There we go.
This is not their primary directive, and the idea is generally frowned upon.
They should.
One of the primary ways that researchers test and interact with SCPs is through the use of D-Class personnel.
What is that?
D-Class individuals are used throughout the entire Foundation, and are personnel that have been deemed expendable. D-Class are generally taken from prisons across the world, usually convicts guilty of violent crimes. But the Foundation goes through a large number of D-Class, and will sometimes take them from other sources.
I mean, all life is precious, don't get me wrong, but if you have to do something that has to do with experimenting, I do not object. Now, if it's some people in there for petty crimes or, then it's kind of like, But then you also have some people that are in there for crimes they did not commit, so that kind of gets kind of iffy. Or maybe I'm thinking too much about it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that's a good place to, or should I just take volunteer? Because, people do some weird shit for free. So, I mean, if you pay some people to do this, they'll go in and do it, bro. It never fails. People will volunteer all the time. People donate their bodies to science. People right now are doing stuff to their bodies that you can just ask them, like, hey, man, you want to make $20 and jump off that bridge and do a somersault into the water? They'll be like, yeah, man, give me that 20. And they'll go and do it. So, I mean, hey, take volunteers. I think that'll work, too.
For particularly negligent or heinous behavior, some Foundation employees might be demoted to D-Class. D-Class are often used for experiments and tests related to SCPs, serve as first explorers for some unknown locations, or forced to carry out any activity that the Foundation would rather not risk the minds or bodies of its employees on.
Look like a penguin astronaut.
On the other end of the spectrum is the O5 Council. The O5 Council is shrouded in mystery, believed to consist of 13 members, and they oversee the entire Foundation, with access to practically all of its secrets. Many rumors have spread about the O5s, including the rumor that they use their unlimited access to SCPs to maintain immortality. Below the O5s, but still with a large amount of responsibility, are the Site Directors. The Foundation operates a large number of facilities around the world, primarily functioning as prisons for SCPs, and each one is overseen by a Site Director. These facilities vary in size, with some just built around 1 or 2 SCPs, and others housing hundreds of anomalous items.
More than one, huh?
There are, of course, other organizations besides the Foundation that have taken an interest in anomalous objects. These groups of interest range from the mischievous to occasionally cooperative and the openly antagonistic.
That's crazy.
The Chaos Insurgency is a splinter group of the Foundation that attempt to obtain as many SCPs as possible. The Church of the Broken God is a religious organization seeking to resurrect a shattered deity. And the Global Occult Coalition is a counter-organization to the Foundation, dedicated to destroying SCPs and backed by the United Nations.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm in that team.
There are a number of other organizations out there, with some of them responsible for creating SCPs themselves. The Foundation has worked with some of them on occasion and continually battles many others, but each organization continues to operate, largely in secrecy. That's a basic summary of the SCP Foundation and the universe it exists in.
Well, with that being said, like, hey, that was a good informative video. You guys have been around YouTube, huh? Y'all guys be recommending me these good videos, but that was a good video to learn about SCPs. I didn't know it was that deep. I didn't know it went into SCP has this, and it's another organization that finds things. There's another one, they have a counter organization that aims at destroying them, and they aim at protecting them. And at the same time, it's kind of like they're doing something good with it, but at the same time, they're doing something bad, because they said they have some SCPs that are made to help and enhance and give medicine and stuff like that to build immortality, to help sicknesses. And then you got some SCPs that are there that destroy and hate humans. They destroy everything in their path. They destroy grass. They destroy all this. So it's just kind of like, why not keep the good ones and get rid of the bad ones? Like, why are you holding on to the bad ones? They don't have anything to offer. I mean, they may have something that they may be providing you with, like maybe some information that can be used to do something else. But I mean, get rid of them. Why you want to hold on to one? I don't even know what SCP it was, but it was one that turns you into a disease, and the disease expands and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. The future one can be like that, but I mean, they also say if you change something in the future, then something happens in the past, something changes, do something differently, and then something can go wrong. So I mean, I get all of that. So I mean, it's just a chance you just have to be willing to take, because this was a lot. I thought the safety ones was cool, but it's some dangerous ones in the safety ones. You got Keter, and then you got is it Tharlamule or something like that, Thelamule or Mule or something like that, and then you got 13 people that's sitting on the console, bro. Like, I did not know it was that deep. Because is SCP pretty much the fantasy version of Area 51? Because that's what Area 51 is supposed to be, or at least that's what the rumors say. Aliens and all this other stuff. I wouldn't be surprised we haven't found some weird shit out there, people. The Earth is big, and we're not. If you really think we're the only ones here, and we're surrounded by all these galaxies and planets, then I don't know, to each his own. But this video is by the Exploring series, so if you guys haven't already, be sure to shoot down the description box, click on that link, and go watch the video in entirety, because I was pausing and stopping and talking through the whole thing. Thank you guys so much, and keep doing what you guys are doing, and the videos will keep coming. If you guys are new to the channel, my name is Zems, and welcome to the Crow's Nest. But again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.